arch top guitar. That's a jazz guitar, if you don't know what they are, with the F holes on the body. And he made it talk, and my jaw hit the floor. So Dad was a horseshoer. He was a weekend rodeo cowboy, and he was also a professional rodeo cowboy off and on. And so we would go to rodeos, and there would be things like live bands in the grandstand at the Toppenish rodeo, I remember. And I'd look up there, and there'd be all these guys making all this noise, you know. And I would hear the sounds, look at the instruments, look at the people, and I just became infected. And I still am to this day, and I'm 70 years old. But anyhow, I didn't really see anybody play the guitar other than these rodeo outings. But what happened was, we were out on a trip to a local person's house that was a friend of my father's, and he also a customer of his, and he had shod their horses, and I guess the wife knew Mom was not going to be home, so they invited us to stay for supper, and we did. And when we went inside, Dad found a guitar in the living room. So he got the guitar, and it's probably really loud enough, I think.
Oh, there you go.
Okay, all right. Anyhow, so he got the guitar, and he tuned it up, and I remember this is what he did. He played a C chord. I didn't know what it was, I just remember the sounds. And he played an A chord, F chord, and then he played a G7 chord. And I'm not going to sing it, but then he sang "You Are My Sunshine" too. You know, or I can't sing it because it's not my key. And he even used the C7 chord to move from the C to the F, which is a musical thing. And but anyhow, then he played a couple of cowboy songs that he knew, cowboy camp songs. Like one was called "Way Up High in the Sierra Peaks," and "Throw That Seago Down, Down," or something like that. And then I would listen to the Sons of the Pioneers. So, I can get rid of my coffee mouth here. Anyhow, Mom liked music. So Mom would come to town shopping, and she would get a 45 record, probably a couple a month. And so she had, her collection was pretty much around Dean Martin, Les Paul and Mary Ford, which was rocking, and Mario Alonso. And so I would listen to the music, and then there was, the television came along a year later in 1955. By the way, I will play some guitar for you in a little bit too. Anyhow, so on the TV, of course, there was the Mitch Miller Hour, and it was like, and then there was another one I think called Hit Parade, and I might have the two of them confused. It could be one and the same. I don't remember. It's been so long ago. But I would listen to this music all the time. So every time I heard music, it was like I had a big sponge on top of my shoulders, because I would hear the music and I would remember the sounds. And so I started acquiring a memory for melodies at a very early age. And that doesn't happen to everybody. But if anybody knows what, when you're minding your own business and you're going, you know, then you've got music in you. You just don't know how to get it out on an instrument. But anyhow, there was a lot of music around, but then came the Ed Sullivan Show, and that was the ticket. So I saw Buddy Holly in his debut performance in real time, tape delay, on the Ed Sullivan Show. I saw Elvis Presley's first appearance. I saw all the Beatles. And I also saw Les Paul and Barry Ford. So Les Paul was my big hero because he was such a killer guitar player. He played really fast, and you know, he had things like the trill. So I would start learning this kind of stuff, and I would hear it, and I would just copy it. I would get the guitar and copy it. But in terms of taking the guitar lessons, at the age of probably 9, I think is when I started, I learned to play the guitar by reading music. So one of the first things that would happen is you had to learn the lines and the staffs. So you had to learn F-A-C-A, F-A-C-E, and Every Good Boy Does Fine, and all that kind of stuff. But I would hear some kind of a thing like there'd be like a Western movie or something, and it would have like this. Anyhow, I would grab the melody because I would hear the notes, and I would get a hold of the guitar and say, but I didn't know how to play much higher than here. So the way that I got to do all that was I spent 60 years learning how to get from a C chord to a C up here. Okay, enough of that then. Anyhow, so there was a lot of songs that had an effect on me, and a lot of other people back then. So I printed out a list of all this stuff, and I'm not going to sit here and try and play any of these, but one of the first ones that I tried to perform winds up being number 8 on the all-time top 100 for the 1950s. And I can't remember how to play the song, but it was Hound Dog by Elvis Presley. And, you know, whatever it was, I think it just went something like, you ain't nothing but a hound dog, crying all the time. So you do that, and I saw that, and so I learned the lick. And then I performed it. I performed it at a party for some people from Eugene that came to visit my folks and some other people from Milton Freewater. And I got up and grabbed this guy's guitar that showed up, and I played You Ain't Nothing But a Hound Dog and sang it. And I've never done it since. And so that was about 1955, I guess. I'm not even sure if it came out that early, but I think I'm right on my dates. Anyhow, so there's a lot of these songs on here that they had common themes. And the first thing that a guy had to learn how to do when you're going to play the guitar is you had to learn your chords. Originally, when I approached Robin Barrett about doing this deal, I was going to do a seminar, a clinic thing, and try to show people who are struggling what you can do with a guitar or how you can get over some humps. But in the end, I decided Rob was kind of milquetoast on it, but he was considering it. So I decided what I do is just use this as use everyone here as guinea pigs for my new book that I'm going to write about what I'm doing today. There's no way I can put these 60 years in this hour and a half, and I'm going to try to make it to the 60s when I got to Hollywood and before I'm done, because I have to quit in an hour and 12 minutes. But anyhow, so one of the things that happened was you had to learn chords, and you had to know more than a C chord, an F chord, and a G chord. You had to know A minor chord, E minor chord, D7 chords. And when I quit taking guitar lessons, here's where I quit. I had a song called Two Guitars. I cannot remember very much of it. But it was, the guy who taught that to me was Vincent Rizzuti, also known as Jim Rizzuti. And Mr. Rizzuti had a music store here in Walla that he started the year I was born, which was in the Jurassic period, 1946. And anyhow, the song was called Two Guitars. So it had to be just something like that. Anyhow, so I had kind of learned how to read music.